So yes, before I start with performance testing, I'm going to check once again the system, the resource consumption. So yeah, it gives 77 53 megabytes of RAM used by Windows 98. And uh, 57 for Windows Millennium. So yeah, if you remember the previous amounts, the resource consumption is very similar. It varies from one time to another. One time is slightly better on 98, sometimes it's slightly better on Millennium. So that's because despite Windows Millennium having at least officially higher minimum requirements, that's not a real requirement. That was done mostly to clear out some old hardware which Windows Millennium won't work in. Mainly to clear out socket 5 and older boards which they knew that probably weren't going to work properly in Windows Millennium. That was pretty much why Windows Millennium requires specifically a 150 MHz Pentium CPU as minimum, because that was the lowest CPU, which was socket 7 only. Yeah, before we start, I'm going to show the details of the computer on CPU set. I'm going to use the Windows 98 machine, but it's going to be hardly relevant because the machine is the same. So as you can see, the Coppermine Celeron with 128 kilobyte of level 2 cache, 900 MHz, 100 MHz front-side bus, It's surprising that this machine has AGP given how crappy the chipset is. On the memory, it gives no details about the memory, but the memory runs at 100 MHz, although it supports 133 MHz modules. They will work at 100 MHz regardless. And yeah, we have no information about the CPU because, well, what's the biggest, the most powerful CPU we have here? Yeah, the Baia Eden. Okay, I'm going to check just for fun. Yeah, of course. Well, this machine is vastly better than the Baia CPU, but that's because the Baia CPUs were crappy as hell. This machine is okay. I'm going to compare it with the K63. Yeah, you can see that the K63 is actually better than the Baia CPU. K62 running at 500 megahertz. It's actually a good match. It's the closest match we have for this CPU. But well, okay. No more time invested on this. Let's run first the test. For this part of the video, I'm going to do something slightly different. I'm going to run then side to side with one machine and to the side to the other, and that way we can also see how much time each one takes to perform the testing. I don't expect significant differences because they're essentially the same machine. But the purpose of this is saying which system will work better. For now, I'd say that Windows Millennium has a slight advantage, if nothing else because of being able to boot with a pen drive plugged in, and the Ethernet port working properly and not seizing the operating system upon boot. So yeah. So now I have both machines side to side, as you can see them here. So let's run the inform tool. And 3, 2, 1, go. can see how that how besides Windows Millennium taken a bit less for the memory testing, Windows 98 finished faster overall. So yeah, we can see the details there. The Pro, the Trident Silver Blade, and yada yada yada. Okay, let's go to where the magic is. So in the first testing we have that the Windows 98 machine has a slightly faster reading memory speed. For the reading test, however, we get that the Windows Millennium machine is slightly faster and 125 compared to 122. Again, not exactly a big difference, but well, yes, a different. For memory copy, we again have a slight advantage of Windows 98 at 179 compared to 174, and it's not a spectacular performance for this machine. For memory latency, we have, however, a lower value on Windows Millennium at 223 compared to 144. So yes, so far I'd say slightly better on Windows Millennium. On CPU testing, the first CPU testing, we have again a very slight increase on Windows Millennium from 550 to 510 on Windows 98. Let's move to the next one. And on the next one, however, we have a significant advantage on the Windows 98 one, dropping from 981 to 923 on Windows Millennium. Moving on to the next test, we have a very slight increase on Windows Millennium. So I'd say it's pretty much the same. we are moving from 1246 to 1273 on Millennium. Okay, let's check the next one. I'm not exactly impressed by this machine overall. But again, we have another drop on Windows Millennium. Dropping from 271 to 254. Okay. Moving on to the next test. Again, we have a slight drop from 172 on Windows 98 to 166 on Windows Millennium. And for the next one, for the last one, we have a slight performance increase on Windows Millennium. So from 877 to 898. Oh, I want to check something because I see fluctuations on the red CPU speed. Well, okay. So yeah, as I expected, with both machines being essentially the same, the performance is very similar. So in some testing, Windows 98 is better, in some other Windows Millennium is better. So in terms of performance, it seems to be similar. Now I'm going to try to get 3D Mark running on this, although I don't expect it to run because I'm pretty sure that this Trident Cyberblade card doesn't has any 3D capabilities, so I'm going to try. So first of all, I'm going to try to run it on I don't remember, I suppose this is how I have to install it. Yeah. Wants to run. I expect it crashing. Oh, it didn't crash. It didn't crash. I totally did expect this machine not being able to run this. I totally expected this to complain that it didn't have enough 3D shit to work at all. Okay. That is a surprise, but a welcome one. So yeah, okay, let's try to get it running. Let's try to get it running on Windows Millennium and try to do the same again, running the two tests simultaneously in both machines. Okay, so it seems to apparently be working, so let's do the same as the last time. Let's run both at the same time, see what happens. Okay, so it not only has worked, but it seems that we have more than usable 3D performance. 1914 on Windows 98, 1951 on Windows Millennium, 5736 on CPU on Windows 98, 5825 on Windows Millennium. So yeah, interesting. Wow, I didn't expect this to work so well. So I suppose this means I have to start testing games and see if it works, because this has been surprising. This has been very unexpected but welcome surprise. I didn't expect those machines to have a use once I finish the project, but they seem that they might be actually usable for me with that quite interesting performance.